Today's video is brought to you by Swarthega Orange. Whenever you're feeling dirty, reach for Swarthega Orange. Okay, job for today. Jobs, maybe. One is replacing that wheel arch, which got damaged quite a long time ago. So not very good on my part, but I think it's within my capacity to do it. Let's hope so. Then the other one is the leaky water bottle, which is seems to be a common problem on BMWs. I think it's where the filler neck goes into the bottle. So whether we'll get access to that by taking the arches out, I think we will. Not 100%, but we're going to try that. So first job, I guess, is find the locking wheel nut and get the wheels loose before we jack it up. Back in a sec. Side note, this car is bloody huge. So for reference sake, it's a 320D, but it's the GT one, it's the big one. Which I don't always like these, but this is, it's in white. I think in white they look really nice. You see them in black, not so much. Silver, no. But white, I think it's the colour for these cars. And it's huge, it's like a limousine inside. I mean, obviously I've got a little tiny TT, so I've got maybe a warp perspective. But the space in the back, well, you can't see now because it's full of my wife's stock, but there's loads of leg room. So even if the person in front has got long legs, your knees are nowhere near the seat. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Back in a bit. Interesting start. I couldn't find the wheel brace, so I've improvised. Luckily I've got 2 socket sets, and this worked really well actually. There's quite a bit of torque on it, and it's solid as well. It's not on a ratchet or anything, so there's no play in it really. Maybe a little bit. So you can hear they were quite tight. So just loosened them all off, found the locking wheel nut, which is always helpful. Just jack it up now. Obviously don't slacken them all the way off. Most people will know that have ever worked on cars. See if we can get an axle stand under, and then get this wheel off. Then we can have a proper look. Other side note as well. Just made sure the handbrake's fully on and cranked it on a bit. Here's my present, first time properly using it. And I've gone under there, which looks like the jacking point. There's like a proper thing that it looks like the jack locks into, so that's should be good. We'll find out, I guess. Obviously you don't want to go under them bits. Maybe we can have a bit of a look what it's like underneath as well. And I purposefully unlocked the car and left it in the accessories position, so to speak, although it's not an actual key, because otherwise it's probably got anti-jack on. That's what I did on my TT, jacked it up, and the anti-jack went off, which is good because I know it works. Right, back in a bit. Right, so axle stands are a new thing to me, although I was aware of them obviously, but I've only ever jacked cars up just and had them on the jack, or God, even sometimes stuck bricks and things underneath them. But I've got these heavy duty ramp ratcheting ones, and I've been told to go under here. That's where the wishbone goes into there. And then I've gone right across. So in theory, it can't come out. I'm going to leave the jack under just in case. But it feels pretty secure. Like I say, I'm not 100% confident. Now the other job, actually there's 3 jobs. I've just got a light setup as well. Is this in here is a piece of curb where my wife hit this on a curb. She's popped all the grill out, well the front to drop. But I think if we can loosen this off and then put it back again. I mean, she's ripped the screw out, but that'll probably come back in. We'll take the piece of curb out. Probably see it better. Like this. Doesn't look great. And then we should be able to slot all that back in again. We've got a little bit better access with it jacked up a bit. So let's crack on. Less talking, more working. So with the wheel off, we can see this is the inspection panel. I had a bit of tape on here. But the tyre, that was on here blew out about 75 mile an hour. We don't know why. I think something came through here because this was all pushed in this way. It actually damaged one of the cables as well, but I fixed the cable and taped it back up again. I suppose really should have heat shrunk it, but it would have been a bit of a nightmare. The cable hadn't gone through. Inspection panel's completely gone. So that's on the motorway, wherever, somewhere. It's quite a while ago, so I want to get this done now. Mainly because I guess a lot of the dirt from the wheels and stuff is going straight up into this hole. Which probably isn't that good. I'm not that sure what's behind there. It's an inspection panel for something. We can probably see, I've got the bonnet open, but it's kind of going up into this gap, I guess, which is the back of the headlight. I mean, hopefully that inspection panel isn't where you replace the bulbs, but I've never done bulbs on this, so. BMW don't seem to make anything easy to get at. I remember working on an old 520 to replace a dashboard light, and you had to take the whole bloody dashboard out just to change the lamp. That's a different job. All right, let's crack on. Right, so that's out. There was 9 screws in it. It looks like this one in the top. I'm trying to figure out where that relates to here. But looking at the dirt on that, I'm not sure it's ever had a screw in, but it's the same size as the other one, so either it's just missing, but I'm trying to figure out where it is from in relation to that one. So there's one there. I think it's this one because there's an insert here. You can't really see it because the light's not in here. Wow, that's hot. I think that's got an original sort of incandescent bulb in it, believe it or not being very environmentally friendly. But yeah, from there to there, I guess the way to find out. No, it doesn't. It's almost like it's designed for something else. It kind of goes into that framework there, underneath there. So I'm not sure. But there was 9 in, so 9 came out, so 9 will go back in. The only thing we need to swap over is this little inspection panel, which I guess grants you access to this area. It's about there. Not sure why. That's like a bomb between the crash bar or something. That looks damaged. It's a bit odd. Oh, that's a bigger job. See, that looks like a crumple bar to me. And that is twisted. That's not my imagination. Maybe ask her what exactly happened to this front then. Is it detrimental to the car, to the structure? No, I don't think it is. Let's get on with this job first. Right. I managed to get this back in. I've had to undo it all the way, not this far. Got all the algae under here. But this one out, and then lever them all back in. This is still really bent, but I'm going to see if I can straighten it up a bit. It's clipped in here. I can feel the clip through the other side. These ones you can't feel, so I'm just going to give them an extra shove. But then I think I'm going to have to shove it backwards to get the bumper just at the holes to line up. So yeah, it was a peg. But it's done now. Hopefully we can get it looking decent. It's not like everyone's underneath cars, is it? But I think that crumple bar's definitely twisted. Luckily it's just twisted at the end, so this is a bit deformed behind here. But it doesn't affect the look of the car or the alignment of the bumper, fortunately. Anyway, I'll give this a little bit of a wipe and see if I can get the screws back in. And then maybe get some grips on this. Try and just straighten it out a bit. We'll see. Right, I couldn't get the under tray back in without unscrewing it completely. And it was full of dirt. So, I'll just give it a clean down. So I need to slot it in like that, because this one had completely popped out and left the captive nut with it. I think they're called captive nuts, can't remember. This is obviously where the drainage from at the top end works its way down into the bottom. This is a little bit dented, but these always get caught on curbs and things. But it's in pretty good nick, so that's going back on. If we come round the front, I've done the best I can with this, but it's a bit of a mess. So it's not quite as kinked as it was. I managed to get the clips in, but I can't get this to stay in here. I think because the plastic's been in that shape for a little bit, it kind of stays there, doesn't it? But I've cleaned all that up. All the clips are in that way, so I'm just going to try and get this back on. My friend here, who's nice and clean. And then I think, see if we can get the access to the water bottle, because that leaks like buggery. Well, that's a swearing, I shouldn't do that. Oops. Yeah, there's lots of dirt in here as well, but I don't want to start hose. I was going to hose pipe it, then the whole working area is wet then, innit? And I thought that would be a stupid idea. So I might just give it a quick brush or a wipe, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's in good nick, this. It's a 67 plate, so, you know, it's not done bad. It's not particularly been looked after, if I'm being honest. No mentioning no names, but still a good car. All right, back in a bit. Right, we're in. I'd say that was easy, but I'd be lying. So I got this 1, 2, 3, 4, well 5, there's 3 on that side, 2 in the bumper. I got them all in, could not get the front one in. So I've had to take all of them out, do this one first, and then got the rest in fairly easy, but obviously working upside down with not much space makes it harder. This, I can't get to stay in here, because it's pinging out, but it's clipped in, so hopefully it shouldn't pop out, and this should secure it a little bit, having everything back where it was. Okay, quick breather. Then I want to figure out how to get at the water bottle. So there's a few screws and things, lots of dirt. So I'm half tempted to, if I can get this out, to just give it a blast. The thing that's bothering me is there's something sort of riveted to the inside of there, and I don't know what it is. And it also looks like it's quite tucked and goes underneath, so I'm not sure. I'll have a crack. Obviously I'd like to try and fix this one as well, because we've done 1, should be able to do 2 to get this back in, or this is probably going to be a pig to get this back in as well. But if I can do 3, even better. What I might do is take the top cover off the engine cover here, see if I can get a better idea of where this neck goes down to, because I think it's the seal between the neck and the bottle. I did the exact same thing on 1 Series Cabriolet. All right, quick breather, carry on. Right, well, no joke, this thing's a pig, and this is a bit different to the normal 3 Series. Some 10 mils there. There's another thing there. 3 of them 10 mils, and I can get at it. I think that's just surface dirt. It doesn't look too bad in the bottom, but even having this here doesn't really help you, because it only leaks this when it's being filled up. So I don't think it's the pumps or anything like that. It doesn't leak at the bottom. I think it's the hose on the top on the filler neck. So I'm going to have a go at it, and if not, I'm going to fasten this up and then, I don't know, maybe get someone more professional to do it. Not sure what that is. Just like a little protector. I'm hoping that the hose at the top isn't really clipped on, but even when you get in here and you'll take all this out, you still can't really get to it. So it's a bit of a pig. If you look online, there's a 1,000 videos about BMW leaking washer bottles. So it's a very common fault by the look of it. But I'll have a bit more of a go. If not, I don't want it to be too long because I've got to get all this back in, get the new arch back in, maybe clean it up a little bit as well, and then get the wheel back on, and then just give it a road test just to make sure everything's nothing's rattling, everything sounds okay. Yeah, it looks like it's been across a field, this thing, but like I say, it is 7 years old, so. Right, arch is back in. Yeah, funnily enough, it wasn't as awkward as that. But there you go. Yeah, a bit of a dilemma because I've found underneath all of this is loose, so this has been impacted at some point. It should have one of these in, so if I get a good image of that, I might be able to just buy one. It's one of those like star push fit things, I think. I could take one out further back, but then that'll be sagging down, and I don't think that's any better than this sagging down. Not that you can see it. So the water bottle, I've had it out more or less out. Ironically, it didn't leak, so I've done a fill test on it, filled it right up to the top. But you can't really get it out with it. I didn't want to pull it all the way out. But I think there's a pipe this pipe that comes off the filler neck. I think it's when it's overfilled, because there's a little bit of pressure on it, it just leaks there and then leaks down the wing. But at the minute it's not leaking, so, and I've put 7.5 litres in it. Oh no, not 7.5, about 4 litres. So we'll see, but I need to get it all back together now. Got to tighten all this up. Notice the gate has gone as well, which I think is an MOT fail if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Just so dirty, it just... I know it's a 7-year-old car, but it looks a lot older. Just needs a real good blasting or something. I can't imagine it's any good for the springs either, of just being coated in crap. Anyway, got to tighten all these up. Then finagle this in. I say really it wants a pressure washing, but I'm not hosing it inside the garage. And I'd rather get it all back together at least, and then check it's working okay. Check it drives all right. Even the horn's got mud in. Okay, let's crack on. Wow, that's like spot the difference. So that takes a little bit jiggling. I've not put any screws in yet, but they sit quite nice. I've cleaned behind there because that was chock full of mud and grass. Coupling here, but you have to sit it behind the brake connector. So where your brake cable comes in, I had it over the top, and that's why I didn't sit flat. And then I think I'm going to get this corner one in and then just work outwards. These sit quite nicely behind here because they've got a shape to follow. It's going to get dirtier than that anyway. Yeah, but that's like a new car, old car. New car, old car. Right, let's see if we can get the screws in. Blowing a bit. Right, one good thing with changing the cover but keeping the original screws is you can see where they all are very easily. The only thing I did need to do is push this back behind here, because this is the bumper joint to the wing, and it was kind of sat here. You just have to push it back. That I don't know what it is. It didn't have a screw in it anyway. I might check the other arch to see if there should be something in there. I've got a feeling there should be a push fit in there, but we'll have a look. So yeah, top level camera work. This went in pretty easy actually. I know I said I was blowing, but it was just hanging upside down and tightening all the, because there's 9 screws in the roll. And my little ratchet isn't great. So next step, wheel on, axle stand out,
drop it down, make sure these are torqued up, catch my breath, have a cup of tea, whatever else. And give it a road test. And clean this crap off the brake disc when we do that. I guess it comes off when you do it anyway. All right, let's get it together. Right, we're down. Sitting high because it's not settled yet. I think it will when I pull it back. Axle stands out, so that's not why it's sitting high, before you say. The only other thing I'm going to do is just clean and lubricate these hinges, because on the BMWs these get really stiff and the handle's a 2-pull handle. So it's double latched as well. Sometimes they just get quite corroded here. So we'll give them a clean and a lube as well. At some point I'd like to do an engine bay clean on this because it's manky, but TT's my priority if I'm being honest. Right, back in a bit. So a little side note on these. I've used copper grease, you can use normal grease, I just like copper grease. I think it's easy to see where you've applied and where you haven't as well. If you push these down by accident and trigger them, obviously just use the boot bonnet release to pop them back again. If you push these down, I think if they fully engage and you try and drop the bonnet down, this will hit on the back of there and it, well, won't do it any good, it won't close. So copper, let's try dropping it. It weighs an absolute ton, the hood on this. The hood, bonnet, I want American then.
There you go.
Ta.
Where do you want it?
Just put it down on video. Just put it down anywhere, it don't matter. Thank you very much. So bonnet release is there. So it should be one pull. You get the warning, or you should do. And if you try lifting it, so it's a bit different to the Audis and stuff that have a latch. This won't latch, so if you push that back or it fails, the idea is that this doesn't come up when you're driving down the motorway, because that would not be good. Well, when I've had them in the past and they've been stiff, this feels like it's stretching, and you can see it says 2 times. It feels like the cable's gonna like snap almost. But if you push this again, I didn't know there was a boot release here. There you go. So you hear it click again. And you can see we're back in position. You can see where the strikers hit. But it does weigh an absolute ton, this. I mean, these must be pretty good, I forgot the name of them. Dubris. And I'm guessing these have probably got the explosive charge as well to pop the bonnet up. I think that's what that is, that double pivot thing. Right. Get this tightened up. I said torqued up before, I'm being honest, I haven't got a torque wrench. But I'm going to put a double bar tighten on it. I've copper greased the end of the wheel bolts as well because they were rusty, but just the very end of them so it doesn't spread and go everywhere. So let's get that done. And have my cup of tea, which my son brought me. Yes. Can't beat that, can you? He was told to, but that's beside the point. So thank you. So just to finish off, test drive was okay. It was really high up in the air, but then as soon as you set off, it all settled down and it's equal on both sides now. Just check the notifications. It's just fuel reserve. There's no diesel in it. All done.
strange man walking past and carrying eggs. Okie dokie. I think we're sorted for now. Bye.